Exactly. Exactly. I'll take a weather inspired pivot that changes up things and um, allows more people to come. Otherwise, we wouldn't even record this, but we're recording it so we can send this out on replay as well. So, welcome everyone. Hi, Deborah. I see you coming on here. Um, we're just about to get started. Happy January in Texas. And we're sitting here by the fire, which we would have been doing if if you guys were able to come here live, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but plug that back in. Let's see if we can see it. But my driveway, where you guys would be coming otherwise, is covered in ice. So you guys would be sliding right on down the driveway. We can't have that. Um, so we just pivot, right? Isn't that what we do in life? Is we just figure out something new and we just go with it and take us where the Lord leads us, right? So I'm glad you could be on here today, or I'm glad you could be listening on a replay. We're happy to have you. And today we're going to um, be doing a little 2026 reset your health. It's always a good opportunity to take stock of where we are, where we want to be going. And, but today is specifically not, it's a whole bunch of not things. It's not about fixing yourself. It's not this whole new year, new you. We don't need a new you. We want you to be simply the best you, right? The same you that you were created to be, right? This isn't about, nothing here assumes that you are broken, okay? It's just simply a pause, a reset. I just love that word, right? It's just a reset, a chance to zoom out to a 10,000-foot kind of view of where we are. Um, and, you know, we look at things holistically, mind, body, and spirit. If you've ever been with us before, you would know, you have heard us say that many, many times. Yes, Danette, assess and reset. Um, Everything is connected. And so we're going to take a chance today to kind of take a deep breath. And if you were here, we'd be sitting by the fire and we'd be grabbing our oils and we'd be doing the same thing we're doing right now, even online or wherever you're listening to this. So I just encourage you to find sort of a quiet space, or a space where at least you can kind of get in your own, just in your own space. And this is not a comparison of where anybody else is. Again, no condemnation, no pressure to make big decisions today. But and you know, even online, I would, you know, share as little or as much as possible, whatever this, you know, might elicit any, you know, thoughts or realizations that it might elicit for you. So we're going to get started by, of course, using our oils. So this is just like a little bit of a nervous system reset. Okay, we're just gonna, so grab your oils, get in a comfortable spot. Um, I've already used I've already used my Valor this morning, so I'm gonna grab my Believe oil. I'm just gonna put it in my hands. That one comes up pretty fast. So just take a minute, you know, just like put your feet on solidly on the ground. It's always just a really great place for your nervous system to be sort of signaled that you are like in a safe place. And just breathe in. Okay. Just a couple of times. Just like slow your breathing. You may have been running around and grabbing a hot cup of tea or something. So it's just a time to just slow that breath down a little bit. And now we're going to do something that It's called HeartMath, and you can look it up on YouTube. I've got a link I can put in the chat in a minute that will give you an idea of what this is. It's just a very simple little two-step process. So with your oils in hand, just slowly breathe in through your nose and exhale longer than you inhaled, and exhale through your mouth. Do that a couple of times. And now I want you to put, if you can, like I kind of have to reach in my shirt, but put your hand on your heart or over your heart. I like to do that physically with my oils on my hand, touching my heart. And simply envision sort of breathing as if through your heart. So just sort of, close your eyes and just sort of envision like the breath kind of coming through your heart, which it doesn't, but just kind of envision it that way. You're just connecting your breath through that center part of you in your heart. And just do that slow, unforced breathing in and out. It's kind of to a count of 5, but again, not really forcing it. And now I want you to bring an image to mind of something that you are immensely grateful for. Your family, your home, anything, your pets, something that just makes your heart happy. And I want you to just envision that. That simple process right there brings your heart into coherence. And that is a very electrical, actually, very technical thing that is happening physiologically in your body, just through that intentional breathing and intentional envisioning of something that you're grateful for. So I do encourage you to read that or listen to that YouTube video because it explains it a little bit better. There's a lot of science behind that. And that is what is so cool. It's like God gave us our breath and gratitude. And He always says all throughout Scripture about remembering and being grateful and things like that. And it turns out that those two things, just your breath, an aroma that is pleasing to the Lord, and remembering and being grateful is so good for your mind, body, and spirit. So it's just the simple things in life that I love, but there's actually really deep science behind it, and I love that too. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is a little bit of mindful and emotional sort of an assessment, okay? And I want you to ask yourself gently, um, again, this is not a harsh evaluation. This is, I want you to kind of be objective here and not, because whenever we're asked to like assess ourselves, what do? We think of the worst things that we've done. Oh, I'm not doing this well, or I'm not doing that well. Mm-mm. That's not what we're doing. We want to take a step back and sort of just objectively assess things, okay? So even when we use the term reset, do you have any kind of resistance to that? Like, I wonder what that, if you, if there's any memory there that you don't feel like that you ever do things right. Oh, I know a lot of us have that about like resolutions, like, oh, I quit by the second week. Okay, just let all that stuff go. Okay. Um, So a lot of times it's not that we are a failure at anything, it's just that we've put too much on ourselves, okay? And any kind of resistance or any kind of memory of shame or not good enough or failure is simply it's information. And that's what I want you to pay attention to. It's simply information or a signal that I want you to pay attention to that you're putting too much on yourself. It's a signal of burnout, not of failure, okay? Of expectation from yourself or from others, but not that you're a failure, okay? It's an objective noticing that we've put too much on ourselves, okay? And there's a way to reframe that. And this is really my main point of all of this. We can never come to You can't push yourself into good health. You can't shame yourself into good health. It may be you have to start from a place of feeling good about yourself and acknowledging all the good things that you have done for you to be able to do something better. Okay. We can't punish ourselves into feeling better. We can't whip ourselves into feeling better. That is simply not how we work. Okay. So I want you to take this really seriously and, um, and also acknowledge you might be in a season of winter. We are physically in a season of winter. So a little bit of this is kind of forced, but I want you to just sort of think of this as a preliminary in that sense, because um, there's always this intention of at the beginning of the year, you set new goals and people are all excited about like resolutions, although that's not even a very popular word anymore, but people have new things that they want to start and everything in the beginning of the year. But the truth of the matter is that is not a winter time thing that is natural for our nervous system or our even our body, especially our body. It's physically winter, and what do we do in winter? Like we hibernate, right? Like we don't physically, but a lot of animals do. And we get warm, cozy food and we snuggle up and we get under a blanket. And that is physiologically what our body is doing, is resting. Okay, so that's why I say if you're not in a mode of like, you're like, I do not feel like making any goals, then I want you to just go through this process and just think about it. This is just a preliminary thought process. If you are one of those people who loves the beginning of the year and it's your time to just recharge and go, you are amazing, right? But physiologically, and in our nervous system, it's really the spring that is actually the season to take on new things. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Spring is that season of new life and new growth, right? So in winter, we're kind of forcing it, but it's always a good time to take the assessment. Is my actual point here. So, um, but nonetheless, I want you to have some compassion for yourself at where you might be feeling. Are you even in the mood for this? Right? Is this sort of like force? You're like, oh, I don't want not want to think about this. I want you to have some compassion for yourself and realize that there's a lot of other factors going on in play. And I want you to just notice a lot. And I just want you to take some notes of how you feel and what you could maybe do with them in the future. You're simply noticing, okay? It's compassion that creates momentum, not comparison or shaming yourself into, oh, I should feel more like this. I never feel like doing anything in the beginning of the year. Like, never. January is not a momentum month for me at all. But I take a lot of notes and I'm noticing things, even if it's not my season to really like be inspired and move. And I still do the things. For instance, this week Danette and I were just at the Young Living corporate headquarters for a summit meeting with Diamonds and the like upper level leadership and the leadership team at corporate. And it was like, and it, and so, we talk about a lot of things that are coming and everything. I went and did that thing, even though I knew that's not the season for me. And I did get inspired, and I can catch a vision of the future and everything. So it's not that we don't participate in those things, it's that um, we do a lot of noticing, and we take notes for our future when we are feeling more momentum and everything. It was a little overwhelming for me because there's a lot of amazing things coming, and I'm not yet in the mode of like all the inspirational ideas. I know that actually comes for me in about another month. So I'm just like doing the things I need to do in this season, which is a lot of like, assessing where I'm at and, gathering my resources and things like that. So that's kind of an idea of how all that works in kind of another area. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to look back um, without judgment. Okay. So before we look forward, we want to really kind of honor where you've been. And here's some of the questions I want to ask you. So, what health habit or new thing regarding your health have you been able to do this past year, right? Maybe this past season. What's something new that you did for yourself that you can pat yourself on the back? And not that you did it perfectly, okay? Even imperfectly. What's something new that you've done better? Right? Like, have you been more aware of ingredients when you pick something off a food shelf? Have you been cooking more? Right? Have you been eating out less? Um, have you been walking more? Like, what are the things that you have done that um, that you can pat yourself on the back for? Okay. Maybe what did you learn about your body this past year? Where did you show up that you are simply proud of yourself for showing up like I did this past week? Like it was all that I could do to go to those meetings and do things when I should be like sitting in front of the fireplace. But you showed up, right? You showed up for your friends, you showed up for yourself, for your family. Yes, Danette, have you been drinking more water and less other things? Have you been prioritizing your sleep more? That is such a good one because sleep in our culture can feel like laziness when it's actually probably, other than eating good food, the best thing you can do for your health. That is a fantastic, fantastic thought, Danette. And you know what? Even it goes right along with like winter for this season. Like, if you feel like your body needs to sleep, then sleep. This is honestly the season for it. I know last year there were many days that I was like, it is 9 o'clock and I'm just waking up. Like I felt so lazy, as I got into it, I was like, this is really what my body needs. And I wasn't like going to sleep at midnight either. This isn't, or 1 o'clock. This is not what I was talking about. It was really me honoring what my body needed in that season. And then ironically, it really did become the season, the year of learning about how good sleep is for us. So, okay, so now that we have kind of looked back and assessed some things, um, I also just want to really emphasize the reason why this is so good is because we usually focus on where we're missing, what's missing. We're usually focused on that gap in what we haven't yet done. I know at the end of the day, I look at what is left on my to-do list rather than look at how many things I did, right? So now we're paying attention to the gain and not just the gap between where I am and where I want to be. We're looking at all the gains that we've made. How far you've come, not how far you have to go. Okay. Um, and also, I want you to ask yourself if there's anything that was like something that on a day to day basis you would just discount because it's such a small thing. But when you do that tiny thing over the course of many days, you realize how pivotal that could be. Like if you just like, this is not like any kind of a whatever. But if like you made your bed every day, like in one day, like that might not feel like a big deal, but you did it every day, or you took that walk after dinner, like that one day, it may not feel like anything, but that walk after dinner over the course of 6 months, your metabolism could be completely different. We're going to talk a lot about that next month. But those are the kind of things where it's really the consistency that signals your body so much that you might not be giving yourself credit for the really great thing that you have done. Okay. So, the next thing I want you to give yourself a little bit of an assessment of is because we don't just talk about health here, right? You can't have health by itself. It's part of a bigger story, it's part of your purpose, okay? And so, I want you to sort of invite yourself to ask yourself, like, are you living like and calling is kind of a big word, but are you living with purpose from like being drawn to something, like you're called to something as opposed to pressure? Okay, pressure to be better, to to stay away from something you're afraid of, um, is is not is not the best. Something in short term, like for instance in short term, not wanting to have health issues as an older person can be a great motivator. Okay, but we really want to be called to something. In other words, you can always reframe that same thing, like I don't want to be 70 and not be able to be mobile, right? That would be like a fear driven kind of a thing. Whereas to reframe that is to say, I want to be in my 80s and I want to be serving the generations younger than me with real purpose from the wisdom that God has given me throughout my whole life. That is a drive. That is like you're like just spiritually, that's just such a beautiful, God given motivation. So, kind of assess where you are. What are some of your strengths? What are some of your talents that are used to help other people, right? Why do you want what you want in your life? Like, what is, and again, I don't want to say, what is your purpose? That's so great. Like, that usually just stagnates people in their assessment. They're like, I don't know what my purpose is. It really comes from this smaller day to day thing. Who are the people around you? Where did God place you? Like, yeah, in what neighborhood? In what people? What talents did He give you? What are your strengths that you don't even, the things that come naturally to you? What do people compliment you for? Oh, you make me feel so good every time you're around me. Like you just give me such courage. That is a spiritual strength. Like that is your gifting. That is your purpose. Okay, those are the kind of things I want you to kind of assess because we don't just in a vacuum want to be healthier people. We don't, this is not, it is not just, let me just give you a clue. It's not for you. Your health is not for you. Okay. So take a little bit of a time and even replay this and kind of assess, what that could be for you. Okay, now we're going to move on to a little bit more of the physical nitty gritty that we can, that is, a little more hands on. So I'm just going to list a number of, we're going to do a little bit of a physical assessment. And I'm just going to list a number of body systems. And from a very intuitive standpoint, I want you to just like off the top of your head, just sort of like, oh, that's kind of an issue for me. And what you're going to do is kind of come to a prioritization of what you should prioritize health wise. Okay, this is not a because we could probably have something in every body system that is something we can improve. That is not our point here, okay? When we have more than one thing to do, we don't do anything well. When we have a million things to do, we do none of them well. When we have one, maybe two things that are probably connected, you could do those things that you could do that really well. And what we find is when you take care of the priorities, and because our bodies are holistic, so when you take care of the body system that is really speaking to you, like literally your body only has one way to communicate with you about what is going on. When it does that, it's a cascade of helping the other body systems do what they need to do, okay? Because nothing is disconnected. If something's going on with your liver, it's connected to your gut, it's connected to your hormones, blah, 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 okay? So I'm just going to list a number of the body systems, and I want you to just intuitively think like, ooh, yeah, that's the one, or no, that one's okay. And I'm just going to go through them, and I want you to just sort of write down intuitively what comes to mind, okay? Your gut or digestion. How's your energy throughout the day? How's your skin? You know, your skin is, although it's a body system, your skin is actually a reflection of what's going on in other areas, usually the liver, but also like the gut. But is that the system that is signaling you? How are your hormones? How's your sleep? Did that sleep discussion trigger anything for you? How about muscles, joints, inflammation, general body aches, pains, things like that? How about your immune system? Are you constantly in a fight? How about your emotions, your ability to control them? I want to say, like, that's probably not the best word, but regulate that equanimity, express them when that's appropriate, or your clarity of thought, or even your focus. They're kind of in that arena, all in the same. And then, how's your blood sugar stability? Does that feel like an issue to you? That may or may not be energy related, may not be, I mean, it is digestion related, but um, like basically, are you craving? That's kind of the issue with blood sugar stability. Okay, so that's the general list. Can you choose one priority from there? Is there one thing that stands out for you? And again, there might be two, and we can, Danette and I are also available to, help you learn a little bit more about how they're connected, because many of them are connected. But again, your health cascades when, the foundations are supported. I do have an assessment form that, thank you, Jeanette, you're just so ready with those. So I have an assessment form that gives you, and I wanted you to do it intuitively at first, but then, but this is a more like if you're really a numbers driven person or just really have a hard time with that. This has you rating each like different elements in each system, each body system. So you can kind of see it numerically where you might want to focus or even how those are like might be, two things might be high on your list and you can kind of maybe assume they're kind of connected. And then there is also a key kind of when you figure out which are prioritized, it kind of gives you an idea of those Young Living products and supplements that can be helpful for that. And those are just starting points, but it kind of gives you an idea of what to do. So that's a helpful, those are some helpful tools. So Danette is going to get into this next, but I hope that this was not overwhelming for you, because our point is that, it doesn't need to be, and that there are some with Young Living, like, if I learned anything this past week when we were at the Young Living headquarters, like, we are so in the right place. Like, they had, you guys, it was one of the funnest moments. They had the science team come up on the stage, and everybody, like, legit standing ovation. It was so fun because, and these guys nerds unite. It was so much fun. But we are really in the right place. This team gets down and dirty. Like, I could barely, and I love this stuff, right? But I could barely, like, follow how deep they go with their level of knowledge of our biological systems. And it's not just like pinpointing these one little things. Like, they look at it from such a holistic standpoint that the things that, my whole point is that the things that Danette is going to talk about, you cannot go wrong with doing some of the most basic things that Young Living provides, because they will help you in all the areas that you might be having issues in. And that's why we talk about this as a reset. So with that being said, Danette, do you want to take it over?
Sure. Thank you, Michelle, for leading us through that. She's so good and calm about that. I'm like, chip, 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 chip. So, so thank you for that. We're going to talk about what we love to call the 14-day reset. What I love about the 14-day reset is that it is concise. It's 2 weeks, 14 days. We can do it. And it's a great way to change habits, but also to flood your body and give your body some possibly things that it doesn't normally get, and also to reset habits. So I'm going to put right here, because as Team Young Living, we actually do a 14-day reset every single month. And we've had people that for 2 years have done a reset every single month because they feel so good on it. And every month they notice even more and more changes, right? That we call that habit stacking, but this is called health stacking, shall we say. So you'll see here on February 9th. So we always start on the second Monday of every month. And then that gets us through two full weeks. You don't have to wait until everybody is doing it together. You can do it at any time. And what we love about this so much is that we have all the things for you right here in the 14dayreset.com. Just blew me up something in here. And sorry, let me get that in there. And then this is the Make a Shift Reset Kit. So we thought we'd show you what this looks like. By the way, this is the best price on Ningxia Red that you can get is with this Make a Shift kit. So it's a beast. So hang on. Let me see if I can fit it in the thing right here. So it's this beautiful box. All right. Inside, you have this beautiful Make a Shift Reset Kit form that tells you how to do it. But how great is this? It shows you day 1, and it has your 6 packets of Ningxia. Day 2, day 3, all the days. So it is about flooding your body with nutrition. So for the first 3 days, you drink 12 ounces, which are 6 packets of Ningxia Red. I've been drinking Ningxia Red when it used to be called Berry Young Juice 23 years ago. So that has been something that I was like, oh, I've been doing that for years. I'm cascading things here. I've been doing that for years. What's the diff? Well, when I started doing 3 days of 12 ounces, and then the next 11 days, you go down to 6 ounces, which are 3 packets a day. massive change happens. And for some people, depending on how clean your diet is and all the things, you could have major changes. And I'm talking sleeping better, energy better, different things like that. But we know the Ningxia wolfberries, they come into this country non-irradiated, unlike every other goji berry, wolfberry on the market. But we know that it is massive nutrition and support for our eyes, for our liver, for our heart, for our brain. So it is imperative that we get those antioxidants, because now we have so many oxidants, right? What is oxidation? It is rust. I don't want rust in my brain. I don't want rust in my eyes. I don't want those things. So the more antioxidants we have, the better our body can handle the rust, the oxidants. Oxidation is not our friend. So we love this 14-day reset. What I also love is that, right, we start on the the second Monday of the month, the Sunday, the night before we start, and then the Monday night, after we end on Sunday, after 2 weeks, we have testimony times that are open for all of Team Young Living. So people come on and they say, I felt this and that. I've had these changes. I've lost this much weight. I stopped having sugar cravings. I mean, all of these different things that people thought, no way I'm just going to try this. And then they're so excited about the changes. The other thing that we have for you in this is, let me get there, is a ready-made app. That website right there, 14day-reset.com, gets you all of the information you need. And that includes meal plans. There are 9 different meal plans in there. So if you're like, I really like keto, or I really like vegetables, I really like whatever you're like, I really want to focus on that, you can choose Whole30, whatever it is. You can choose a eating plan, and it has shopping lists. It has recipes. So no chance. We're taking away all the things that people say, oh, I can't get it together that way. Also, there are exercises in there for all different levels. So we're taking away that, what I don't know what to do. It's in the app, it's on the website, and here is the app information as well. It tells you how to get there, and then a YouTube video that shows you how to use the app. I think you're going to fall in love with this. What we are loving about the reset, that we've been doing this for a couple of years now, but it falls in completely in alignment with our newest product, our Balance and Burn. Do you want to take that, Michelle? How are you feeling? What am I missing?
I want to say foundationally, I want to say that that regardless of like where you have chosen in your like assessment of what body system, especially with the Balance and Burn, okay, let me back up. We chose these two when we did the self-assessment, okay, this whole topic, and we're assessing all our body systems. Like, most pointedly, I want you to know that you could do either one of these. You could do the 14-day reset, or you could do the Balance and Burn, and you're going to be hitting massively, aside from like, especially the 14-day reset, you're going to be hitting such a foundational way to help that body system, okay? Whether it's your skin, like I've had people like tell me that their eczema is better with the 14-day reset. Why? Because it's liver and gut, and that's the foundation of that issue, that their hormones get better. Like, because that is a regulator. When your liver is doing well, then your skin looks better and your hormones operate better. Okay? And it's foundational nutrition for all these body systems. Well, it's a very similar thing, and we learned a lot about this, and there is a lot of information. All of you on here should be in Danette and our group, the Balance and Burn Inside Look. If not, maybe we could pop that in there. Although you actually, at this point, because we can't just pop the link into it, you have to reach out to one of us, make sure you're in the group. We're doing a lot of education in there, but we learned even deeper level. Again, that science team came up on stage and to talk to us about the balance and burn, and he listed like 15 factors that are in place that these ingredients not just give your body. It's not just what that gives your body, but it helps your body create homeostasis in these 15 factors that are in play when somebody, it's not just weight management, it's blood sugar management, it's energy utilization. We're going to go deeper into this next month because this is actual metabolic health. It's not actually whether or not you need to lose weight. Again, like you said, like we talked about earlier with skin, if you have a skin condition, it's your body's signal that there's something deeper going on with your liver or your gut, okay? It's the same thing with weight. If you're carrying extra weight, it's your body's signal that its metabolic health at a cellular level is not in homeostasis, okay? It's because that will also be your energy level, okay? Your body literally, and this is one of the elements that we're learning about that these ingredients promote. It promotes your body from using its energy stores the way it's intended. And so he's showing us these graphics of all the things that happen to imbalance our body from doing these things that it's meant to do. And you're like, no wonder we're so like tired and sick and overweight and craving crappy food because all of these things have to be in place, right? And again, it's a lot of things, just like every other thing from Young Living. Like, it's not just that our bodies are. It's all the things in society. It's all the chemicals. It's all the things that environmental factors that help us get out of balance. But then, how do we get back in balance? We don't even know why we're so like tired and can't lose weight, but we want to lose weight, and so we restrict calories and then we work out like crazy. That's a recipe for disaster that hasn't worked since the 70s. So what do we keep doing this for? So this has been monumentally like eye opening for me as to and I'm so incredibly impressed with, again, like, this is a foundational health program because it's helping your gut manage blood sugar levels and actually operate um, from a microbiome standpoint, how that's regulating. And then from a cellular standpoint, like the burn balance and burn capsules, the way that they actually like help your body produce these L cells and these AMPK cells and all these factors that go into play to actually utilize the energy in your body the way it's intended to do, like at a cellular level. And so when we can promote these kind of things, like, then you know your body's actually comes into balance. These aren't things that you have to do forever. Although I will say, like, again, like what Danette said about like using Ningxia Red every day is really because you have to feed your body, right? That's that's not something that's one and done, okay? That's foundational good nutrition, okay? But balance and burn is not like something that you're supplementing because your body is missing it, kind of like enzymes. Like, I'm going to take enzymes for the rest of my life because my body doesn't produce it. So Danette's showing the balance and burn set, and there's two parts of it. And again, we'll go into this a little deeper, but it's just such a nice system package and easy to do. So that's that's the capsules, and they were so easy to travel with too. So those are the capsules, and then there's the stick pack, and they help you regulate your blood sugar, and they're easy to take. Like, it's such an easy system, and you know you're helping reset at a foundational level. So that's why we wanted to like present this to you, like kind of assess your health challenges and kind of where you're at, and at the same time acknowledging all the great things that you have learned over the past year. If you're able to be with us on Table Talk on Tuesdays, it's my favorite time of the week. Don't miss it. And we can't record it because we really just want to be honest with people and everything, and let people tell their real honest stories. And so, but I encourage you to be on that with us, because we're learning so much um, about how our health works. Okay, and I'm sure that some of those things you have learned, and you have gotten better over the past year, and not just better, but like implementing little things that add up over time. And so, like, if you look at where you were in 2023, like, maybe you haven't given yourself enough credit for how far you've come. Okay. And so this is the next year, we're just going to make those small changes. We're going to give ourselves foundational nutrition, which you can always do with Ningxia Red, like on a daily basis. You can do 1 or 2 ounces and just keep making sure you have that foundational level. Or you can like recharge your system by doing the reset, which is like a little bit more paying attention, a little bit more of the Ningxia, and making sure that you're eating clean and all of that. And it just really gives your body a good charge, a good flushing out, not dramatic. It's all very gentle. There's not a lot of flushing. Okay. And so, and that is a great foundational thing. And then I encourage you to really look into the balance and burn again if you have those cravings or energy problems. We have one friend who this is such a fun story. I have to tell this story. We have one friend, the week before she got her balance and burn, she had contacted me, and she's like, do you know of anything that can really help? She used the word endorphins, dopamine. And I was like, no, that's not how dopamine works. That's a whole other topic, but you can't take anything for dopamine. She's like, I have no motivation. I feel like doing nothing, and I don't care about anything. Right. So that was our conversation on Tuesday. The following Tuesday, she got her balance and burn, and she started using it. And she contacted me on Wednesday or Thursday, and she was like, what is in this stuff? Because I have refound my motivation. And it's in a couple of the different elements, but it's the energy burning, and it's utilizing, it produces this clarity. Okay. So, and again, that is all metabolic. That's how your body functions at a cellular level. We don't just get motivation and clarity and your brain working really well because we drink enough coffee. You guys, I don't drink a lot of coffee. My husband's ashamed of me. He's the coffee drinker in the family, but it's not about the energy. It's not about a caffeine thing. You don't get focus and energy from that kind of thing or motivation. You get it from what's really happening and how your body is utilizing its energy at a cellular level. This is what balance and burn does. Okay, so it's not just a weight management thing. It's really metabolic health. And so I'm really excited about that. That's going to be our topic next month. Hopefully you can join us locally. We're going to be doing it again here at my house on February 21st. Yep, 21st. And and this is not exclusive. Like, we'll be presenting it in other places as well. I'm going to be teaching on metabolic health on Table Talk as well on February 10th. Okay. So, and also we're going to be putting out, Ed Daly has a great foundational teaching on balance and burn that Danette is going to put up in the chat. And yeah, so does anybody have any questions or any, yes, you will be able to watch this. This is being recorded. And you'll be able to watch this again and share it as well. Does anybody have any comments or any questions that they have about this? I think we've covered all of our content. Yes, the link isn't working. Emily Kavanaugh, we'll get you in there. I think you and I are friends on Facebook as well.
Hey, friends. Always does that. Sorry. my computer ran out of battery right there, so I've had to log back in. Emily, I just got you invited. And so I am going to put in another link here. Well, two links. First, if you do not have they used to be the essential oil desk reference. Now the latest one's called the essential oil reference guide. Has almost 1,000 pages of incredible information that anytime you're using oils and things, I highly recommend it. And then there's the link for our in-person class in McKinney on the 21st of February. We're super happy to have all of you guys. I highly doubt it will be iced over and snowy like today, but we are happy to dig further in and for you guys to get all the education, because we want you guys to have the education as much as you want. And I'm going to have, Michelle, I'm going to grab one more link, and that is, I just have to remember where it is. I didn't get this one in my sheet, so hang on. I will get this one in, and this is a class that Ed Daly did for us, and it is fantastic. We did it a week and a half ago, just over a week ago, actually. So if you want to learn more about I think Ed's already going to talk to me because I just pressed the button. Okay. So this is our class with Ed Daly on the balance and burn. So our science director, Howard, goes deep into it and it gets super sciencey, which is great. Some people love that. Ed does a great job of taking the science, giving you that, but making it less complicated, briefer, and more understandable. So I think you'll really like that for the balance and burn. What I love about it is that where we're talking about GLP-1 only addressing one system in the body, decreasing your appetite, etc. This addresses 3 different systems in your body that all work together. It is phenomenal. And so we're excited for this because we've already seen huge changes for people. And also the test group has shown incredible results that they had just for a month and now longer, but initially a month with people at corporate doing it and increasing that lean muscle mass. This is why the bundles, and I put it in here, the bundles that Young Living has, you can buy the system like this. You can buy the next bundle has this with the ICP, excuse me, it's not ICP anymore. It's a daily prebiotic fiber. And then the next one actually has Ningxia Red to it. So super powerful to do with the reset. If you happen to have 104 ounces of Ningxia Red in the bottles, knock yourself out and you can do a reset with that. You don't have to have this reset kit. And so you'll find all of the details in that 14-day reset. But we're here to help you in anything that you need. And we're super glad that you guys are here with us today. Thank you for braving it. And we're happy to have heat and electricity and Wi-Fi to share with you today.